Hello everybody, I'm Eternal Flame here, and today we are here to talk about my what if I have started up on the channel, which is what if Toji had survived. Welcome to part 2 of this. Now, this isn't actually part of the story, but this is a slight retcon I am going to make. However, if you do want to skip past this retcon and get right past into the story, well, the chapters are available and you would likely be able to skip past it anyways, so yeah. Anyway, this retcon that I have to talk about is because I had Megumi actually start out with his domain expansion after having a talk with Toji Fushiguro. However, I recently had it pointed out to me that doesn't really make sense at all for Megumi to start out with domain expansion with how I set it up, mainly because this was made to be a follow-up talk from Gojo talking to Megumi, but I kinda made a big goof and completely forgot that that entire discussion happens after Goodwill. So yeah, Megumi is a bit physically stronger than he was in canon, but not strong enough to actually change that many things. So now let's get into the story of what if Toji Fushiguro survived. As our story starts out with Toji and Gojo sitting inside of a bar, discussing what had recently transpired. The events that had just changed all of history forever, which was the reawakening and reemergence of the king of all curses, Ryomen Sukuna, who had reawakened inside of a boy that was the same age as his son, and yet the boy was incredibly strong without curse energy. It was almost like he was a sorcerer to begin with, even though he didn't have an ounce of curse energy until Sukuna had awakened it in him. Now, part of Toji did speculate if it could be possible that Yuji Itadori was similar to himself and Maki, as that would be the best way to explain that strength, but Yuji's ability to awaken curse energy immediately rejected that, which did surprise Toji nonetheless, that someone like him could exist without it being through a heavenly restriction. However, the silence was broken by Gojo Satoru asking Toji a question, which the question was, would Toji be willing to keep the student around despite the risk that they possessed to Megumi? Which Toji's response was pretty simple. He already decided he would be fully okay with keeping them around. After all, Gojo had fully proven that Yuji could keep control over Sukuna. However, there were some conditions on this, which the main condition was to make sure Yuji learned how to fight and immediately. While Yuji was naturally a good fighter and that was something Toji could tell about him, Toji could also tell he was still rather untrained. After all, if Yuji could grow in power to be reliant on himself, that would make sure his son Megumi was that much more safe. However, Gojo as a counter said, "Isn't that your job more than my job?" After all, Toji was the combat teacher for them, so that would be his responsibility, which led Toji in response to saying, "You know, you still haven't paid me for what happened back during the night parade of 100 demons. And then Gojo immediately lifting up his finger and creating a red and saying, "Sure, I can pay you," which would cause Toji to back off before a chuckle coming out from him, mainly because he kinda understood Gojo's sense of humor by this point, even though he wasn't 100% sure or not if Gojo was actually joking or not with it. And after they were done discussing that, eventually led Toji and Gojo to leaving the bar, which made a thought enter into Toji's head while he was thinking and walking. Would a rivalry between Yuji and Megumi, if he chose to set it up, end up actually helping them? After all, he felt that it could be possible that it would end up helping both of them to improve if he could set up the rivalry properly, before realizing setting up a rivalry is near impossible. If it happens, it happens. This is when we're going to go entirely past the detention center arc. That's mainly because of the fact I don't see Toji's existence really changing the detention center arc at all. So basically the entire detention center arc is going to go the exact same. However, it did actually end up proving Toji's theory right, that in order for him to be confident in Megumi's safety, he's going to need to make sure that Yuji never relies on that power again, because Sukuna almost killed Megumi because of that very fact. However, what was even more worrying to Toji was the sudden interest that Sukuna seemed to have in his son. This was something that worried Toji very heavily, and it made it very clear to him how much more the importance of Yuji's execution when he has all of Sukuna's fingers actually would be. However, until that point, he would need to make sure that both Megumi and Yuji would be as strong as possible, so Yuji would never reach into the power that was Sukuna once again, as well as Megumi would be prepared to fight someone like Sukuna as a worst case scenario. However, before we go into Jogo versus Gojo, there's actually another part of this that we need to go over, which is the fact that now Kenjaku actually has to alter his plan a little bit, which is what he's going to discuss with the disaster curses Jogo, Hanami, and Dagon. This is mainly because of the fact that Toji still has all of his tools as well as the ability to be completely ignored by barriers, something that Kenjaku would very much know. Of course, Kenjaku did always plan to eventually unseal Gojo, but with the existence of Toji Fushiguro, it could end up resulting in Gojo being unsealed extremely early, and that could go extremely poorly for his plan. However, with Jogo being the overconfident type of person he was at this current point in time, where he even thought he could take on Satoru Gojo, he decides he's going to try and eliminate Satoru Gojo right now, doing it himself to show he is that Giga Chad. Now, the reason why I'm having him still go for Satoru Gojo instead of going for Toji is because Toji versus Jogo is its own debate, and I don't want this what if to be sparked into this entire debate, so I'm not going to have that happen. This then leads to Jogo versus Gojo going the exact same, with Yuji having a new example in his mind of what strength should be in the example of Jogo himself, with Jogo being the first benchmark that Yuji wants to achieve, thanks to Gojo saying that as his goal in his mind. Then it leads into Megumi getting punched and attacked by Todo, with that eventually getting interrupted by Inumaki, and with Inumaki saving the day in order to save Megumi. However, while Todo was leaving, he eventually gets the Soul Split Katana directly in front of him, with Toji standing behind him and Toji making a threat to Todo to never try and pull that on Megumi again. Todo, being the mad lad he is, just decides to ignore that threat and just continue on with his day. Normally, a normal person would be intimidated by such a threat, but Todo is insane, so yeah, this is Todo we're talking about. Now, I don't see Toji changing anything at all about the versus Mahito arc, mainly because he's not going to at all be involved with it. He's still alive, yeah, but I don't think he's going to change that arc just because he's now alive and suddenly be there to help Yuji. However, this is when we actually get a little bit of a difference in the timeline, where we get a spar between Toji and Megumi during the versus Mahito arc. Where during that spar, Toji brings something up about how both Gojo and Sukuna, the two strongest, were able to see potential in Megumi. After all, Sukuna had called him a waste of talent. In return, Megumi had commented that he had heard that all the time from Gojo, but he never really understood why they said that about him. Sure, he was given the technique that battled the 6 eyes user in the past, but they probably just used Mahoraga to take both of them out. It was why he always treated Mahoraga as his trump card. And in that moment, that was when Toji was able to see the weakness, but also see the fact that Gojo didn't take the right angle to approaching Megumi. Gojo had approached this as telling Megumi that he was holding himself back, willing to be a team player that couldn't acknowledge his own potential, and while that was correct, he could tell that wasn't the right way to approach this. In a way, Toji actually knew Megumi even better than Gojo did, which was why Toji approached it in a different way than how Gojo had done it, which was deciding to call Megumi out, telling Megumi that he must feel selfless, being ready to sacrifice his life as long as it means taking out any opponent with him. However, that's one of the most selfish things you could do. Rather than trying to push yourself, trying to rely on yourself to surpass your limits, you take the easy way out. Which in return Megumi got very defensive about, as he immediately tried to argue that he trained every single day of his life, that he tried to always surpass his limits, just that this was his safeguard. This was his way to always guarantee a victory. However, Toji in return had an immediate response, which that response was that Mahoraga was his limit. Relying on Mahoraga to take out any opponent was his limit. Sure, Mahoraga might have taken out a 6 eyes limitless user in the past, but it doesn't make it impossible for him to be a person who doesn't need to rely on an option that takes both lives. After all, Toji had learned quite a lot in his goal to surpass the sorcerer world, quite a lot about what limited sorcerers, and he could see very well what was limiting Megumi. But this is when he decided to say something else that he was pretty sure would actually hit Megumi very, very hard. Which was, and even if you end up taking yourself out, your life is not the only one that pays. You might die alone, but you take the world down with you. How would Sumiki feel, knowing her brother took the coward way out? How would Gojo feel, knowing that was the way you chose to die? How would anyone around you feel, knowing that this was the way you decided to end your life? After all, Toji knew better than anyone what the effects of someone else dying would be. Toji losing Megumi's mother, his own wife, ended up sending him on that path that almost ended up taking his own very life, that ended up making him such a terrible father that he felt it would be better if he never raised Megumi. Toji knew better than anybody what the effects of death could have on anyone around him. As he then followed up the conversation with, sure, Mahoraga can be an option, but don't even think of it as a safeguard. Make your own safeguard. Imagine your own way at winning, your own way at succeeding. So long as you rely on Mahoraga, you won't be able to make a future where you will reach that potential. When you're against the wall, think of your own way out rather than taking the easy way out. That is the only way you will end up growing and surpassing who you are already. As that was when Toji had continued this spar with Megumi once again, pushing Megumi very, very heavily, resulting in Megumi awakening his own domain expansion, being pushed to his limits and awakening it against Toji. Now he still lost, but this means Megumi does actually have his domain expansion during the Goodwill event. However, as a result of this and this training, Megumi ended up thanking Toji, but at the end of it he said, "Thank you, Mr. Fushiguro," which had brought Toji to a complete halt, as he was completely surprised at the fact that Megumi had known who he was. As now Toji was starting to question how long did Megumi know for, how long had Megumi been knowing this entire time that Toji was his father, and Megumi had told him, well, kinda hard to hide the fact when you look like me when my hair is down. Before he then went on to tell Toji that he had actually known that Toji was his father around 6 months before they had actually started their first year, and it was because Sumiki had actually told him. Because while Megumi had not remembered who Toji was, Sumiki very much did remember who Toji was and near immediately recognized him. However, Megumi didn't say anything because he wanted to know why Toji was here. What was Toji's real reason for being here? Because based on everything he knew, Toji had abandoned Megumi and Sumiki to live the way he pleased. This didn't fit what he knew about his father at all. However, before Toji even got a chance to answer, Megumi had actually stopped him, saying that his actions speak far louder than his words ever could. That Toji was here to make up for the actions of his past, to make up for the mistakes that he had made. That's why he helped during the night parade, that's why he had been helping with teaching, to find a new path in life as well as make up for things that had happened in the past, which allowed for a reunion between father and son to happen. Of course, Megumi had no intention to ever call Toji his dad. Toji had not earned that role, but at the same time, he did at least respect Toji. He did somewhat forgive him, and he could acknowledge the fact that Toji was trying to change for the better, that Toji was trying to help them. And Toji ended up training with Megumi for the entire 1 month time skip, alongside Gojo popping in here and there in order to help them as well. And that is where I'm going to end this part of the What If. Yes, that's right, this is the ending of this part of the What If. This has been a really fun part to write, I enjoyed this very much. And tell me what you guys think about this What If in the comment section down below if you guys like this part of it. So, without further ado, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace out, have a good day.